Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching GEEKCASTER, everything sci-fi, fantasy, and geek culture, pop culture. I'm Seven, we got my man Drew, and we're about to talk to all of you out there. Thank you for joining us. How you doing, Drew?
I'm hanging in there. Hanging in there yourself?
Good. Busy weekend, man. New York Comic Con.
Yeah, it's popping off. Since I'm out here in California, it's like I get all of it after. Well, it's not really after the fact, but it's like you get news of it through pretty much the grapevine.
Right.
We don't have David tonight because he's there.
He's still there. This is the last night. You're probably watching this after the fact, but this is came back to try to report as much as possible. With Davion is on the scene up until the last minute. So there you go.
Yeah, I guess. And from what I've seen, you guys were feeding him little bits of it on the GEEKCASTER Insta, like on the socials and all that stuff.
Yeah, and TikTok and all that stuff. So let's start out with Crunchyroll, because that actually, I went to the Crunchyroll breakfast, and that started out my New York Comic Con journey. And there's actually video talking about like the history and where they're at. And I don't think people realize how powerful Crunchyroll, the influence has been in the industry.
Okay. It's become one of those main, like, stations for anime and stuff of the like. Now that anime is popular, you had Funimation Channel, which is the thing. That was like one of the, no, you can't say one of the pioneers, but they were definitely one of the bigger names when anime became like a thing in the States.
Right.
Then you had like New Type Magazine and stuff, which is, I'm pretty sure was like another thing of Crunchyroll, like back in the day, before it became the kind of business leviathan that it is now.
100%.
And for those who aren't like as familiar with it, if you may not watch anime, think of Crunchyroll as like Netflix of anime.
Basically.
They have other vectors like their online stores where you can buy merch and stuff. It's a neat little unit, and they had a booth. They have booths at pretty much every con that you go to nowadays. You see them there somewhere.
Right.
So.
And it's interesting you mentioned that as a comparison, like the Netflix of animation, because Netflix, even Disney, HBO Max, basically, if you're one of the big boys, they all jumped into animation and anime specifically. And they weren't really interested into that before. But because of the numbers, Crunchyroll's making, it's billions of dollars. Literally.
It was an interesting thing to mark when...
Right.
There's like an interesting stat that I don't remember, but it was like around the time of COVID, numbers for like streaming went up because everybody was at home.
Right.
And this may have been in the motion long before then, but it was the idea that Netflix realized, oh God, there's there's a demographic that likes this stuff.
Right.
Maybe instead of making this original crap that no one's really liking on our end, maybe we could just dip into the anime business. Right. And they're still making them, so obviously something's working.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And they have big plans, and it was really nice to talk about that, because I was thinking about that for a while, but it was nice to be around a bunch of people and also to hear them say it, as a company in front of everybody that, hey, we're doing it. And they didn't go in hard, but, they're pretty much the big boys. Now, will they stay the big boys? I think so, right? I would think people are loyal to the Crunchyroll brand.
For the foreseeable future, I don't think that they're going to be going anywhere. It'd take something like really drastic to hear that, oh my God, Crunchyroll's going out of business, y'all.
Right.
But I think between, who are the main ones right now? HBO Max has, or I guess it's just Max now. Max has some anime titles. Hulu has anime. Amazon Prime, they have that and their original stuff. That's where like Invincible and them live.
Right. And
again, Netflix, there's a healthy enough like competition between the companies, between the big boys in the industry that are like that,
right?
Where Crunchyroll can still compete and be among them, but still kind of be in the spot where we have alternatives if they were to somehow go under.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I can see that. Also, talking to some hardcore anime fans, it is getting a little annoying how you'll have a series, and then you'll have season 1 and 2 on Crunchyroll, but then you'll have season 3 and 4 on another platform, and then you'll have 8, 9, 10 in another platform. So you're starting to see that as an issue as a fan. So,
you cracked up a little at the end. What was it?
Yeah, as a fan, I could see a lot of people getting annoyed with that.
Oh yeah, luckily I haven't experienced too much of that myself, but I know that is a thing where you try to find something and they'll have like. It's weird that animes do seasons now, but yeah, there's that does happen. You have to find one on Netflix, and the others will be on Hulu.
Right. So. Oh, and also, I'm feeling the new cover. Hopefully, this comes through with the new booklet for New York Comic Con. I have the whole 3D. Well, there you go.
You got it there, then it fades out of existence. That's the way I can kind of see.
Yeah. That is awesome.
Full cover.
It's
pretty neat.
It was neat, but also it's like it was nice to have a cover that was relevant and it made sense. Wolverine and Deadpool. That was huge in the box office. Finally, they made a movie that the fans wanted and asked for in a while. That we haven't seen that, so it was cool for them to make that a cover. And also, there were years because of the pandemic that they didn't even make a booklet.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
the booklet.
Oh, yeah, like they had an outside company make the booklet for the year instead of them making it themselves. So, so that was nice.
Interesting.
That was nice. Oh, shout out to Keith Williams. Shout out to Nick Gatow, the Geekly Grind, shout out to them. Also, Geeks Out, shout out to them before I forget. So, but what's next? Oh, we did get an exclusive interview with the creators of the upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games. So I will post that and probably talk about that the next show.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be like New York Comic Con Part 1, and hopefully Davion will be with us for the other one.
Yeah. This by then he can go over the details on what he saw up close.
Yeah, definitely. So, because there's no way to cover everything, but we want to talk about what kind of hit us hard. At least that's what I want to do. There's a let's go into this because I think I sent this to you. I'm actually excited about this. Creatures Commandos.
Yeah, I just saw the trailer for it.
What'd you think?
I want to say yesterday or a day ago.
Right.
I'll put it to you like this. When it comes to like the Young Justice style, like the animated DC movies, I've never really had like much of an issue with those. I think that in a lot of places, the animated section of Warner Brothers and the DC stuff does a lot better than the live action. Mm-hmm. Like across the board, like pick a movie. I'm like, no, the animated one did it better.
Right.
But Creature Commandos, it's James Gunn's next thing. One of his next things. He's like the main dude over at Warner Brothers, handling all the DC Comics materials. The trailer, it's animated. It looks good. It looks like it's very much in his style. Like when it comes to the dialogue and the characters, you got like the ragtag team of kind of B C-listers in the DC Comics pantheon. But with his kind of dark comedic style, he can make that weird ensemble of offbeat characters work. He did it with Guardians. It's kind of like what he's known for now, I'd say, at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of become his brand, his thing. So Creature Commandos looks good. I would say that maybe like it's a little too close. If I had to have like any gripes or criticisms, it would be like a little too much like a soft season or like an animated series version of the Suicide Squad. And my question is, why did you just make a Suicide Squad animated series?
Right.
So, but I don't know.
You hit it on the nail. You hit it on the nail for me too. It did feel like Suicide Squad, and there were a couple other series that kind of had the same. They followed the Suicide Squad template. So it was like, why now? Why this?
Because they're popular and Guardians did gangbusters. It's how do we make a group of weird, quirky, awkward badasses that can go off and do all kinds of crazy adventures. That's popular, so then this is people doing their thing.
Right.
Like back to briefly with the Ninja Turtle stuff.
Right.
In the 90s, you had or 80s, 90s, you had the Ninja Turtles get big, and then you had the Street Sharks and the Biker Mice from Mars and the Saurazorian Squad, whatever the hell
it just got weirder and weirder.
It just, yeah, whatever. And there was like a big anthropomorphic team of superhero kick. So it's part of that. And the whole superhero thing, we have the weird team, the team of weirdos, directed and produced by James Gunn.
And by the way, if people see me looking up and looking to the side and doing all that, I'm pressing buttons in the studio. So it looks a little weird, but I get it.
No, you just look like you're in the ambience of whatever dunes that you're walking amongst. It's in the essence, you know.
But I do want to see it just because it's James Gunn and see what he does. You know, a fan of his work.
Yeah.
It shouldn't drop too far down. And to your point, yeah, I mean, I think DC does it the best. As far as their animated, like, films, it's just, they're good. Even when I don't want to watch them, I'm like, eh. And then I watch them, I'm like, yeah, that was good.
It's like that. Yeah, I won't watch them immediately, but when I do get around them, I generally like what I see. There's only been a few where I'm like, that was just ass. That was just not good.
Right. There was one of the Batmans, which hurts me to say, that it was a little off. I think they were doing like a Sherlock Holmes thing.
Oh, Gotham by Gaslight? I haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah. You don't even have to watch the whole thing, but I'm really curious if you're like, nah, Seven, you were off. This was on point. But that's one that, the first one that made me say, I don't think I need to watch the whole thing.
The Elseworld stories can be, it's like a taste type of thing. You either dig them or you don't. They had the Gods and Monsters Elseworlds version. Like, that was like an animated movie. That one was sick.
Okay.
That one was dope. And then you had, this was a Superman one that I watched. It was like Brainiac was the main villain. And how he ends up killing him is that it was like War of the Worlds. He gets sick basically from just being on Earth, and that's how Superman beats him.
Okay.
Like, that was lame. It was so crap. But for the most part, they tend to get it right, though.
Yeah, they tend to get it right. One of the games, and I might bring this up again next week because I'm really curious if Davion checked it out. Mecha Break, and this is going to be a new video game. It's going to be a free play, kind of like called what's the one that's free there? Like a Fortnite kind of thing, but not Fortnite. I actually played it a little bit, and besides getting the moves right, I actually enjoyed it a lot. The graphics seem really. If there was a perfect world, okay, remember when everyone started doing these like 2D, almost looking like cartoon graphics?
Like the 2.5D stuff that they call it now.
Right.
It's looks animated, but it's actually 3D.
Right. And then you have just like this really hardcore 3D animation. This was a weird world in between, but it was really crisp and clean. It was really, really nice. In fact, a lot of times when you, like Final Fantasy, when it breaks off and you have all these little movies and how it just has this pop, when they're doing like the backstory or like the movie along with the game and how it's like seamless and smooth, it's kind of like that. So imagine that and then having this like Gundam kind of energy.
Okay, I can get with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a chance to play it. Oh, and by the way, you could modify the, you can modify your robot, your ship. You can modify the people driving, whoever's driving your ship. It was crazy. In fact, so I was just, as far as like the feedback from people, one girl was like, I could just modify all day. And then somebody else says, hey, this is giving me Gundam vibes, but I'm feeling it. But it's Gundam, but it's not. And someone else was just talking about just the play, how smooth it was versus other games that they've played. So it's not out yet. It's coming out next year. Again, free download, and it looks really exciting. And the people, like all the company representatives were really nice and excited. And a lot of times when you go to cons, say it again.
Are they new?
It's
a company.
You know what? It seems like they've got a lot of old heads, and there is some on the back end as far as the creators. There's one or two people that helped to design that actually did work on Gundam, so that's interesting. But it seems like it's a small company, but with big backers.
All right, I can get with that.
So I'm actually kind of excited about it, and you don't hear me talk about games like that, because I'm usually not really impressed with a lot of stuff that comes out. But this seems cool. This seems really cool. Yeah. And you could play 3-on-3. You could play what is that? 3-on-3, 6-on-6, and I believe you could do a battle royale. So and of course you could just play by yourself playing the game. So there's other options too. So.
Got you.
So we'll see what that's about. But again,
we'll see. Sounds like a there's Gundam like MMO games that they play there, like the Gundam online games that you play on your phones.
Okay.
And then there's Zone of the Enders, which is I'm pretty sure I own that one. That's the Konami one.
Okay.
Which is also mechs. And then there's Armored Core, which is big on customizations too. Armored Core 6, I think, is the most recent one. And folks go bring balls heavy on that one as well.
Gotcha.
With the robo customizations.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how exciting and where it goes from there. How are we on time? We're pretty good. Let's see. Oh, Davion just sent us some. Ooh, wait a minute. Is this a Golfling? What? He sent some photos at the con. Let's see. See, now this might not work because I have that video thing on there. So hold on.
Yeah, we gotta get your scrolling.
Yeah. And you know what? We did that in past shows. I'm gonna hook that up again. We could see the visual from the stuff doing there. Again, I just rushed back so we could do the show and get the people going there. So let's see, what else was exciting about New York Comic Con? Oh, I gotta get the name of this. Did you know that there's this big cat octopus doll that's like huge now?
No.
Yeah, every year there's like this one plush that everyone's running after. And there's also a new company that's really trying to compete with Funko Pops because it basically looks kind of like a Funko Pop, but it comes in like this rectangular thing. It almost looks like a picture. So behind it,
someone's trying to avoid for Funko Pops.
Yeah.
I mean, why didn't they go out of business? Am I remembering to say, is this the right company? Didn't Funko Pop go out of business or something?
No. You know they have their own stock. You can buy stock in Funko Pop.
Didn't they at least have to bury like a bunch of Funko Pop dolls that were just had to go to a landfill somewhere because they didn't sell, or the company went bankrupt or something?
I wouldn't be surprised at some point, but I think where they're at, they're doing really well. People are still excited about it. Where's that little? Yeah. People were lining up crazy for this. Notorious Ninja?
Notorious Ninja? Okay, I guess. It's like, what is the Tickle Me Elmo is to the first.
This was huge.
I suppose. The Notorious Ninja. Got you.
Yeah, but every year there's something. There's some little, as they say, a tchotchke, something you don't need.
Those little trinkets. And again, you're talking to the guy that collects like action figures up the wazoo. It's like a hobby. So I love this. But it's not to poo on it or like to speak disparagingly about it.
Right.
But it's like that's the new thing. That's the new we still have Hello Kitty, so I'm used to use this as like as if it's a retro thing. It's like the Hello Kitty of the month, the new tchotchke. So that's cool. Enjoy.
Yeah, because they were like vampire kittens a couple of years ago, and that was huge. And now it's like,
yeah, you slap anything with any kind of old crap with cats on it, and people will usually come flocking. But interesting.
At least for a little while.
Yeah, it's like that's where you get all the popularity for Five Nights at Freddy's and stuff, because you can sell a bunch of plushies and crap. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll definitely we'll have that up and have some video and stuff up for the next show for that. Now you were watching something on Netflix this week that you said that it's worth a shot to check it out, right?
Yeah, I finally got around to checking out Terminator Zero.
Okay.
It's like an 8-episode anime that Netflix and it was like a joint production between, I want to say, Netflix and Production IG.
Okay.
It's who basically co-opted and made it. It was, I would say, since Terminator 2 Judgment Day and the live action series, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, it was one of the best entries in the franchise since those. It takes, without spoiling anything, I'm trying to be careful. It's different setting, different timeline, but they all kind of collapse. And it's a different cast of characters. It's like they're pretty much they're all originals.
Oh.
And the plot that they go with, it acknowledges a lot of what's wrong with the Terminator franchise. Because with the whole time travel thing, we used to think it was a point A to point B. You change details of point B to change the past of point A, right?
Right.
You learn that time travel is actually not that. It's a lot more complicated. And it acknowledges a lot of what happened in the Terminator franchise when it came to the whole timey-wimey stuff.
Gotcha.
It gets a little wild, but interesting. And I would say if you're a Terminator fan but have been very much disappointed with the recent entries in the franchise, check this one out. Give it till about episode 3 or 4. All the exciting stuff, all the cool Terminator stuff, it's action-packed, but all the good Terminator stuff, I would say, comes in the latter half of the season.
Oh, wow.
So it winds itself up.
So basically, if you've seen the movies, you didn't see this. It's not the same.
No, it is. It's the same. It's the same world, effectively, but again, without spoiling anything, it's a different timeline than ours. The main character is a guy named Malcolm Lee. Think of him as kind of like the big brain of his generation. It takes place in the 1997 or a 1997, and he leads this company that's basically like what would it be, like the Microsoft, the Apple of its age.
Okay.
But they have advanced stuff already. We have androids in 1997 in this timeline, and he's the cause of it.
Gotcha.
And he knows about Judgment Day, and he's been basically creating this an AI called Kokoro to effectively stop Skynet. But the issue is does he put Kokoro online as a sentient like AI life form to become like Skynet? Is it going to become Skynet, or is it going to stop it? And that's
because you don't know, because it's the future, right? So
yeah. So the idea is does he help Kokoro? Does he put Kokoro online to stop Skynet, or does he just let it all repeat itself?
So it doesn't erase Sean Connor or nothing like.
It doesn't reference John Connor or anything like that. It has the Terminators in it, not necessarily the T-100 series that we're used to, but it does Judgment Day. The events of Terminator 3 happen in this show.
Gotcha.
1997, the bombs fly. It's a version of that going on, but it's in Japan.
Oh.
So, Terminator Zero.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good. That sounds real good, actually. And I'm glad they did that. That's actually kind of smart, because it makes it more interesting. You don't want to feel like I've seen this before. You want to feel somewhat like it's fresh and new. And I like that concept of fixing all the things that people kind of nitpick watching the films, basically.
It's a blend. They do have new ideas, because new ideas kind of was what to Terminator's detriment, I think, at a point when they started trying to make Skynet do an app.
Okay.
They lost a lot of folks, but it's very much the cyber horror. We're running from a killer robot, but there are some newer concept that acknowledges the flaws of the series, but they spin them in an interesting way.
Okay.
The question of the core theme of there is no fate but what we makes is in the series, and I think the way that they execute it is it fits right in there.
It fits right in there. Let's see there.
Right.
All right, cool. So, are there any particular? So now we're going to go a little bit more into gaming. We have Davion. Were there any particular things that you heard about the con, or questions you would like to ask about the vibe, or before we go?
I saw pretty much all the trailers that I needed to see.
Okay.
In all honesty, I get this stuff after the fact. Unless I'm actually there,
Right.
I get all this stuff pretty much through everybody else's vectors, like YouTube, Insta, and it's all about the trailers for me, or the announcements, and whatever little sneak peek stuff you get.
Was there anything exciting, like, man, I gotta see this?
I missed out. Nothing that I could see yet that I'm like, oh, I have to see this. Creature Commandos looks good. I will watch that. I'll, at the very least, I'll make a song about it, get around to it at some point. I have a huge backlog, man. There's so much stuff I'm behind on. But nothing that really caught my eye in particular. But there are,
Doom Academy. One World Under Doom. I am interested in that. It's a series of comic books, and to see where they're going to go with it. I mean, based on the comic book covers, it's like, and of course the title, Doom Academy. But
we've gotten plenty of good-looking covers, and the comic was absolute trash. And with how they write modern comics, as try-hard and extra as they try to make all these comics and then say nothing at all, I'm not really excited for most releases. Absolute Batman was like the last thing that I think people have said that was a good DC comic, or a good modern comic.
Oh, really?
And that just came, that just dropped.
Okay, I can see that. No, definitely. All right, well, we are going to be out. Thank you, everybody, for watching us. This will be on Instagram and all the other things. And of course, if you're watching us on cable, appreciate it. Definitely let the cable come, like, hey, we want more GEEKCASTER. We just got a better time slot, so that's great. We're in 3 different counties, and we're hitting a lot of people that way, so really appreciate it. Everyone at the New York Comic-Con, hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Thank you so much for being super positive and supportive to GEEKCASTER. And again, we're going to go into more con news and conversations, as well as what should we watch this Halloween season, because we usually do a little Halloween run, horror run. So we're going to do that. If not next show, definitely a show after that. So we shall see. Alrighty. Can barely see that yet, but we're good. All right. So any social media or anything you want
to? Nothing yet. When I do have stuff out, I will let you guys know. Some projects I'm working on that will have some social media stuffage to them. So coming soon.
Nice. And also, we're going to be looking to inviting the next couple months some guests. So thank you, everybody, and we'll be out. Thanks, Drew.
Thank you.
Cool. And you're watching GEEKCASTER. We out.